Would you do?
Follow your heart. Sounds corny, but it is the best way to find out whatever it is that you want to do. Follow your heart and listen to it. And if something doesn't seem right, if you feel like you're making yourself do something that you don't really want to do, if you're in a band where it feels like you're doing all the work, you probably are. If you just feel a little uncomfortable about something, it's probably something that you're not going to really feel good about having done later. So trust yourself. Trust yourself and listen to yourself and act on it. And don't listen to somebody else that says you have to do something a certain way. Do it the way that feels good to you. This is a wonderful time to be in a band. It's difficult, but it's also wonderful because you can get an audience, an international audience, to listen to what you're doing.
From your bedroom.
From your bedroom. You
That's
don't even
the
have
big
to
evolution.
go anywhere.
Yeah.
But you gotta know what you're doing. There's a lot of people out there that now that window, that form of television is open, that they think that all they have to do is be sensational. And I don't think that's true. I think sure you can get a lot of one-time hits. People will flock to something and then forget about it. But if you figure out a way to do what you really love and find the people that really want to hear you out there, and that's not the easy part, but you got to just keep doing what you do and figure out ways to really find your audience. Not everyone, just your audience. If you can do that, you have navigated a way to sustain yourself as an artist. You know, if that's what you want to be. But the first thing that I think that young people need to know is, do you want to be a musician or do you want to be a rock star? Because those are two totally different things.
You have to know it's not going to be easy. You know, you have to know that it may be easy. There's people who just step out of their house and the media's
That's
there.
true.
You know, it just happens somehow. You know, whatever. It doesn't matter. But most of the time, you're going to have to lump it. You're going to have to take criticism. You're going to have to, you know, be cold. You're going to have to be hot. You're going to have to be uncomfortable and hungry and all of that stuff. And you just got to know that it's just all part of it. If you're doing what you want to do, then you just keep doing it. You just keep finding a way to do it. You know, it's and not everybody. You know, if you're writing songs, you know, if you're a songwriter, that doesn't mean you have to be in a band. It really doesn't. You can be a songwriter for other people. You can be, you know, you can find outlets for what
There's
you want to do.
easier ways.
Yeah, you know, one doesn't necessarily go with the other. You know, you don't have to be a songwriter to be in a band. It's just understanding what your strengths are and working those, you know, until you get where you want to get. You know,
And having a good time. You know, I think that there's been periods when we were doing what we were doing that we didn't know that, you know, that's an essential part of it.
yeah.
You know, where you get caught up in the machine and you start doing everything and making all these deadlines and doing all this other stuff. But if you're in there and in the midst of it, you don't feel good about it. It's like it's worse than working a job you don't want to work.
Right.
So you should always be checking in with yourself and know your business. Know your business as a musician. Know your business as an artist.
Pay attention to the details.
If you're going to run a band, run a band. Bands are democracies. Somebody's got to lead that. And there's a lot of people that have this really weird make-believe way of thinking about music than they do any other kind of business. And that's why the music industry is so messed up, is because they get all these people and they're thinking that, oh, you're not supposed to think about any of that stuff.
Right.
But you should be, because this is your business. So know your business, know your craft, practice hard, focus on what it is that you want to do, and see if you can do that. And if you can't do it, or if you don't really have to do it, please don't do it. Please don't do it. There's enough of us out there really working hard. Get out of the way. Make room for the ones that really need to do it.
Well, Lisa, Bob, I want to thank you for your time today. It's very kind of you to sit down.
Did you want to ask us about the dangers?
Tell me about that. What you got? Or should I just pull Chris in?
Chris will give you the full
No,
history.
I mean, it's important to know the connection between, you know, how we've come about
It's quite an evolution.
this
Yeah,
way.
I mean, where it is now is it's in a really cool place now because it's like all the things we've been saying. It's just a bunch of people who want to play good music, you know, and we want to do it well, and we want to do it, you know, for people who like good music. You know, it's not we got to take this on the road and we got to, you know, we got to put on an album and get it to Capitol, and you know, it's not like that. It's just we're all accomplished in what we've been doing, and we love to get together and just play right and play good music, you know. We all have this huge history and all these little tentacles and tendrils that go everywhere through people and around people and stuff, and you know, sometimes those things get reeled in and we're able to use them and do some really cool stuff with it, you know. And other times it's just knowing that those other things are out there, you know, and they sort of cross your field of vision sometimes, and you know, it's kind of comforting to know that they're there, or you know, they send you a line that's, hey, I saw this thing on the internet, and you know, it has turned into an extended family. I mean, it's really a cool thing. You know? And I was always a very, very huge fan of Chris's songwriting. From the first day I met him, I was 17 years old when I met him, and I'd never played in an original band. And you know, they were opening up a nightclub, and you know, went and auditioned for him, and he said, here's this tune we wrote. And you know, we played it, and I was like, wow, you wrote that? I was like, wow. We played another one. It's like, man, you guys are like the Beatles, you know, you write your own songs. And to me, it was completely brand new. And
It's like we wouldn't be doing what we're doing right now if Bob hadn't have met up with Chris and started doing that stuff. I mean, there a lot of the stuff that you picked up from the Dangers ended up being what helped fuel you to go and do.
Just knowing that, you know, just actually meeting people who were writing songs that were good songs, that songs I liked, and taking a professional approach to playing them and doing all this stuff. And then when I wasn't playing in the Dangers anymore, I was still going to their shows, and then I had started a band, and it's like, well, now we got to write songs, and you know, we got to do this, and it just fueled that thing. And years later, when Chris and I we got back together and started, you know, going back and forth and stuff, then I asked him, it's like, you know, well, whatever happened to all this music that you did? You know, there was all these songs. You guys were in the Dangers for 5 years, and you were writing 30 songs a day. You know, it was like, it's a lot of music there. And he hadn't recorded any of it, you know, just his own demos and stuff. And it was like, you know, I mean, you got to put some records out, Chris. You got to get this stuff recorded. You got to put it out, because people, even if it's only 300 at a time, you know, people need to hear this stuff. And we just got it rolling, and we found a solid core of people who were there all the time and wanted to play it and were good at playing it, you know. And like I said, now the little tendrils are going out and pulling people back in and doing stuff. So, you know, Lisa's there now, and Mike Gagan, the guitar player, you know, and we're all just huge fans of the music. We all just want to see that done right, you know. And
isn't that the great mantra? Get 20 people to join your band so 5 show up.
That's great. That's actually cool.
Yeah.
That's so true. I wish I heard that 25 years ago.
Yeah.
No, that's good.
Well, I am impressed with the vocals. That's one thing that I've seen come across. It's like it's just night and day from what I've experienced, but I think that's the biggest thing I've noticed, because you have that dynamics that takes you on to a completely different level.
It makes you hear the songs differently too.
Yeah.
For me, it makes me take a different point of view. Like, you take a different look at the song and you just say, oh, that's that song.
Yeah.
That's where that song lives, or that's where it could live, or whatever. It opens it up. I mean, Bob is really good at that, because he's the one who's said in the past, there's a song that we're working on with the Dangers, but I think we might be able to really make it work if you come in and sing this thing. And that's stuff that I wouldn't normally know off the top of my head, but you're usually really good at that kind of stuff.
Yeah, it's you know, you always hear songs, and as a songwriter, you hear a voice singing it, you know, and there's stuff where, you know, Chris should be the guy singing his own song, but then he writes a song where it's like, you know, that would be a really good song for, you know, somebody to sing, like Flowers and Trees. Having Tim sing Flowers and Trees
That's a great idea.
Yeah, it was just great. He sings it so cool. His voice just fits that song.